Good morning, YouTube. I already did this before, but I didn't turn the camera on. Ha! Well, anyway, I hope everything is going your way. Today, I wanted to share with you a little modification that I did on the CRF300L here. Lucy. What I did was right here, and it ain't the grips. Yeah, the grips are new too, but what I did was I put on a G2 Ergonomics competition quick turn throttle for my lovely CRF300L here. Lucy. Anyway, yeah, the quick turn throttle. You probably know what it is. For those that don't, follow the top of the D there, and you'll see when I turn, it doesn't go that far. So it's quite a bit different from the stock throttle, which would turn a lot further. So everything happens slower with the stock throttle. The idea of the quick turn is less effort, less turn, quicker to get on the gas. Net result is the bike doesn't become anything different, but it feels like it's more peppy. You know, it feels like it's more responsive, more instant to give power. And that's something that this bike kind of lacked, you know, and so I wanted to do this to see if it works. And it does. I like it. Now, what you might think is that the quick turn throttle is going to make the low end of the throttle even worse than it was before, and low speed stuff or tricky stuff's going to be even trickier. Well, I mean, everything's subjective, but turns out for me, no, that's not the case. And what I find, it sounds counterintuitive, but I find things a little smoother. Even though I'm getting on the gas easier, quicker, the bike is more instant to respond. But when I, let's say, go over bumps, or when I have to maneuver in tight quarters at really slow speeds, or, you know, that type of thing, slow cornering, no, it's not a problem. It's either the same as it was, or maybe even improved. And you might think, well, John, that doesn't, you know, that's a load of, you know, because how could it improve it? Well, what I'm thinking is, it's a possibility that if something needs less action to create the reaction, then there's less time, less chance for the gremlins to creep in. So before, with the stock throttle, it had such a long turn before you're out of that herky-jerky range. Now, you go through that range quicker. And maybe that accounts for my perception that it's even a little smoother. So there you go. Yeah, the grips. Grips are new. Domino Racing grips. Got them from G2 Ergonomics as well. The grips are a bit of bling, right? Got that red-black carried over there. The red levers. Even my little lanyard that I weaved from paracord, red and black. I got to have my bike not only performing the way I want, but I like it to be looking the way I want, which might not be the way everyone wants, you know. I don't follow common trends. I go with what I like. And I wanted to subdue the look a little. I didn't want the red, white, and blue. As you noticed, I pulled those graphics off. Just left the 300L. And I've got the seat cover that I put on. That's from SKDA. They make good stuff. Very grippy. And these tan bits are waxed canvas. So that just gives it, I don't know, a little bit of a homey look. It's more, like I say, subdued. It's not as loud, not as flashy, crying out, "Hey, look at me," like barkers on the street for restaurants, like in the old days. You probably don't remember that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just creating my own look. I think that once I took the red, white, and blue graphics off, both on the headlight and the side, I find that the feel of the look is more solid. To me, yeah. With the black seat, getting rid of some of that red carried along with this red, it was just too much red. So the black seat, goes with the black rims and exhaust and trim on the engine, the head cover, the tank. So yeah, just red, black, and white, with the only accent being the tan, which I've carried through on the Lucy decal that I had printed up at a local place. Probably the biggest mod that I did in terms of benefit was suspension. K-Tech rear shock and Racetech fork spring kit. And the other mods were just to tweak performance in power delivery. So I freed up the intake, made my own boot for that, and I altered the spark arrestor. I have another video on that if you want to check it out. And I did a little further mod on that as well. So I've got the exhaust more freed up than stock for sure. Intake better. I've got the 550 performance, 87 octane, stock improved ECU. Is there anything else performance-wise? If there is, I can't remember. I'm old. Anyway, yeah. So, what do you think? Think that makes sense? I haven't come across I've only come across one person on the net anyway that has put a quick turn throttle on this 300L. And he used the Yamaha R6 throttle tube, which is a popular way to do it in sport bikes. But he had to modify the housing, the throttle housing, in order for the larger cam that has, just the way it's shaped to fit. And anyway, this G2 Ergonomics, they make one. So, and they make it, I think, a really good turn on it. The cam the profile is just right. That's how I see it anyway. Now, if you're not familiar, most of you are, but if you're not familiar with how this does what it does, why does it shorten the turn like that? It's because the cables, the top pull and the bottom, the push cable, is hooked into a cam about maybe that in diameter, and so that as you turn your throttle, it pulls your cable and opens your throttle body, right? But with the quick turn throttle, instead of the stock size cable or stock size cam, maybe it's a little bit larger, right? So that's how they do that. So that now your wires or your cables are hooked onto a larger diameter cam, and they're wrapped around that, kind of, in a way. So now when you turn the throttle, because you're pulling those cables over a longer or a wider diameter, you don't need to turn as much to open the throttle fully. So that's how it works. And it's a bit tricky to install. You got to have patience, because there's not a lot of slack that you can create that gives you the room to easily get the cables into their slots on the new cam. The throttle tube is aluminum. And yeah, it's you need patience. You just, if it doesn't work, don't force it. Just, take a 5-minute break or just calm down and and fiddle with it some more. And it's just getting that right angle, you know, and it'll slip in. So yeah, I like it a lot. Big improvement for me. Like I say, the bike is more sensitive or more responsive now. Feels it, right? Doesn't change the bike, but it feels like that. Get on the gas easier, and I like getting on the gas, gotta say. So I have a feeling that that's about all I've got to say. I don't think I've missed anything, but if I did, let me know in the comments. And we'll talk on another video. You guys take care. You ride safe. Have a blast.